can you have this on, like on your phone or something, just to make sure that's running okay? Welcome everyone. Let me see how many people are on, and we'll start in about 2 minutes. But those guys that are on Zoom, I'll be running it on YouTube, so if you go to our channel and click on the lessons, you'll be there as well, and you can chat through the YouTube chat box if you want. Later I'll join the Zoom chat and we'll talk and whatever, okay? But give it a few more minutes and then we'll start soon. Last week we did some close guard stuff, so we're gonna carry on with that. And yeah, okay. Does it say how many people on? Let me just let the Zoom people know. So if you're on Zoom, I sent you the link to everyone here to join. Flavia's in charge of the thing, so she can like talk to you guys and let you know. Okay, so let's get started. Today we're doing close guard. I'll quickly recap what we did last week, okay? We looked at a few posture breaks, just to recap. How to use your legs into breaking the postures. We looked at, and this was the main outline of the lesson there. We did a 2-on-1 armbar setup, an elbow control armbar setup, and the belly down transfer. We saw Marianne doing them in comps. The 2 types of armbar, so that's the 2-on-1. This is the elbow to elbow control. We saw that the main issue with all the arm bars were us getting stacked like this. So that's your number one like counter. And we also looked at how to stop people from stacking us by using the spin under. So that's just if the person doesn't stack, and this is if they stack, you spin underneath to finish the armbar. Okay, so that was like Monday's class. So Friday we're looking at avoiding the guard break. This is usually basically once you start doing your close guard stuff, right? Any sort of armbar setup or the arm drags, we need to break people's posture, okay? And so we can set up our submissions and that kind of stuff. So this is really important, okay? We have pretty much 3 main ways of 2 main ways that we're going to look at today of breaking the posture and avoiding the guard breaks, okay? So can everyone hear me fine and everything? Can't tell. Put headphones on so you can hear me. Oh, perfect. Okay, so avoiding the guard break, okay? There's 2 main guard breaks that you're gonna have to deal with when you're in close guard. Okay, so we're gonna look at them now. The first one is our kneeling break, which a lot of people do, which is the one where they dig that elbow there onto your thigh to open the guards and pass. Okay, so that's our kneeling version of the guard break. We teach in class all the times to beginners, etc. Okay, and this is our secondary guard break, the standing one we see at high levels most of the time, and it's probably the best guard break, where we control the sleeve here. We do our stand-up technique, we push the leg open and we break the guard. Okay, so those are the 2 guard breaks that we want to avoid if you want to develop a really good close guard. Okay, so the elbow dig counter is the first one we're looking at, when people start digging that elbow onto your thigh you feel the pain and you just want to open your guard. Alright, so we're gonna see this in comp a few times, okay? But anytime someone starts digging that elbow down, we're gonna reach in with our cross grip and we're gonna grab that sleeve, okay? Which is gonna open up a lot of transitions for us later. But the one I showed there was just a nice little hip bump to a 2-on-1 control, just like before. And we drag the arm across to take the back. Okay, so again, that's the counter to the elbow dig. So if you're ahead of your partner, as soon as someone starts digging the elbow in, like this, we're gonna lift our hips, reach for that sleeve, break the grip, and drag the arm. And this is best case scenario, but we've also got lots of sweeps, lots of submissions from here, lots of setups. So this isn't just your only answer to this. Okay. So now we're gonna look at the stand-up prevention, which is, my opinion, is the most important one to remember, because this is the most effective pass we have in jiu-jitsu, or guard break in my opinion. Okay. So for this to work, Christine here has to have lapel grip control, okay, otherwise she can't keep me down, and a sleeve control. Okay, so I'm just gonna play that. She gets both of them and she starts doing her stand-up technique. Okay, now this is the tricky part and the thing you gotta drill the most. Okay, when you realize someone is gonna stand up, okay, we're gonna do the arch and collapse. As soon as she takes that leg up, boom, okay, you should be lifting your hips up, okay, creating a bridge, like a normal bridge that you do. Okay, that's on the first step. On the second step, she's gonna pull, I'm gonna pull her with my hips in the other direction. Okay, so one, I'm lifting my hips. On the second step, I pull my hips down. So just take a look at that, and that will create this little scenario here that we're gonna see, where she collapses down. Okay, and again, you can set up your submissions, armbar sweeps, whatever you want from there, but the whole goal of this is to stop the person from breaking your guard or standing. Okay, so let's take a look at that in comp scenarios now. So we're gonna look at let's take a look at the elbow dig first. So we have Kirstine here fighting. You can see the girl already started the elbow dig here, and she's got collar and sleeve. Okay, so at this point is where she reaches in for the cross grip to pull the sleeve, lifts her hips up, and she's back to the middle. Okay, so that's our first example. Like I said, she lifted the hips, she grabbed the sleeve, that stopped the guard break there. We have another example over here, harder to see, but again, this time the lady here, instead of digging the elbow, she started pushing with her hand. Okay, it's not necessarily a good thing, because there's a huge gap here for Kirstine to bring her shins in and start attacking triangles and etc. But we can still see the same move there. Music too loud, thank you. You can just talk. Let me just mute this down. If you guys have any problems, write down in the comments, because I can see it easier. That better? Okay, so same thing again here. The lady's trying to break the guard open, so she reaches in, does the highlight version, grabs the sleeve. She sits up actually because it goes in so far back, and she regains her closed guard. Okay, So just to recap that, we have the 2 guard breaks that we're avoiding. So the first one is the elbow dig. And the second one is the stand-up technique. And this is the one most people should be worried about. And the 2 counters we saw in the competitions, and here's a clear review of it. Reach in for the cross grip, lift your hips up, break the grip. And the stand-up technique, the arch and collapse, try to remember that. The first step, we arch our hips up. Second step, we pull everything down. And then you can get creative after that, setting up different submission chains and different sweeps. But the timing, okay, is really important after you do the arch and collapse or the breaking, okay? Our last little topic is gonna be the arm drag, okay? Let's say when we're trying to set up arm bars, okay, there's a little section here where your partner can try to pull the arm backwards, stack you. They can do lots of different counters, but the most common one is the elbow digging down. Marianne loving getting creative. I know. You guys should see the stream last week. It was chaotic. I don't know how to use any of the stuff. But now, elbow goes down. Okay, then there's no arm bar happening here. Okay, you need the arm to be right in the center of your chest or sternum to be able to set up this arm bar. But Kirstine here makes my life hard, and she brings that elbow down towards my hip. So there's no way I can kind of pivot onto that. So I need to deal with this elbow as soon as I can. And we do that by setting up our 2-on-1 control, which is our same little arm bar that we did before. Okay, but this time we're dragging the arm all the way across by doing little hip bumps. Okay, this is really important. You're not going to be able to just pull the arm across. You won't be strong enough. So you need to do the little hops up and down to be able to drag the arm across. And now that's the easy part. The hardest part is keeping that arm there, which is the hardest thing. Okay, you're gonna see the person's back, and you're gonna go crazy fishing for it, trying to jump up on it, and you're gonna let your chest, okay, get away from your partner's shoulder. You want to be always glued onto that arm, because if she yanks the arm back, she's back to the beginning. So I need to keep her arm across the whole time. And we do that by staying with our chest glued onto the arm. So we'll see it in a better angle in a second. But here, we grab the far lat, we keep the sleeve until our chest is over the shoulder or head, and then we can tripod up to get up. It's a really important move to drill this one, because it takes a lot of practice to get good at getting up. Every single time at the start, this person here will pull the arm back, underhook you on this side, and you'll be back to close guard. So try to practice that arm drag anytime you can't do arm bars or set up your arm bars. And it's a really powerful move. We see like Roger Gracie and lots of different people just have lots of success with this arm drag. Okay, here we go. This is the elbow control I'm talking about. If the elbow is right in the middle, we can normally set up our perfect arm bar. Now let's look at when the arm is not in the middle. So this is, so the arm is either too far across. There's two things. The first example we saw, the elbow is on this hip. Now the elbow is all the way across, kind of my center line. So to set up our arm bar from this angle is really difficult. And we can see I can't even get my leg over. So this is another great time to set up your arm drags. So again, I try to set up my arm bar, but the arm goes too far across. Try to give up on your arm bar attempt and go for the back instead. Okay. Any questions about that? Any problems people have with arm drags before we move on? Everyone understands when to switch to arm drag. Knowing when to do each move is really important, instead of just trying to force the submission or the arm drag. So look at the person's elbow. If they're across too far, arm drag it. Okay, if they're stopping you from setting up your arm bars by digging the elbow into your hip, we use our little 2-on-1 to drag it across. Alright. Okay, and then the last little sequence from this chain is just following up to add your own sequences. This could be any sweep that you learn, either your scissor sweeps, flower sweeps, any form of close guard. So Marianne is asking, how do you know when the time is right? That's a hard question to answer. Okay, so like I said earlier, right? Let's say you're just got into your close guard, and yes, okay, so M answered it for us. When the elbow is not in the middle, okay. To get into like deep aspects of it, right? Last week we did arm bars, right? So this is carrying on from Monday's class. We looked at 2-on-1 setup and we looked at elbow control, okay? So I don't know why you're waiting, Zoom. Okay, but anyway, for us to set up the armbar, we need the arm to be right in the center of the chest. Let's see, a good example here is this bit here. So good. There, okay. So if the elbow is right in the middle, then we know arm bars are great, right? Following here. Now the elbow goes across to the other side of the hip. There's no arm bar set up anymore, okay? This is blocking your hip. And this is why we need to switch to the 2-on-1. So we use the 2-on-1 control to drag this across. Pay attention, people. Okay. I don't know why. Is people still in Zoom? I thought Flavia was in charge of the Zoom section. I told people to go to YouTube channel.
Oh, it's Marianne on Zoom. Hi.
Alright. Okay, no more. Is everyone in the Zoom chat? Yes. Okay. I'll put the link one more time in the chat, just so people know. But we are streaming on YouTube. Alright, anyway, skipping forward. The elbow's not in the, long story short, if the elbow is not in the middle, just drag the arm for an arm drag of some sort. Okay? And then following up, adding your own sequences, that's just mean do your elbow drag, your arch and collapses or whatever. Okay, so this is the arch and collapse. Break the posture down, and then set up your arm bars or sweeps or whatever. Okay. Alright, so we got some questions here. Steve asking, I tend to get stuck. Which part in the video? This is talking about the stream. I don't know. Oh, in the position I am now. Oh, did I go forward or backward? Get stuck in. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's probably the most common one. Okay, let's see the end of the arm. He's talking about, so he tends to get stuck at this stage, I think is when he's talking about. Okay, it's very common. Okay, you drag the arm, you grab the lat here, and you're trying to pull yourself up. There's two things that make a big difference here. Okay, One is knowing if the partner is leaning into you or if he's just sitting on his heels. That makes a big difference. Okay, if someone's sitting on their heels, Kirsten isn't sitting on her heels right now. Okay, if she was sitting on her heels, she'd be very heavy to pull. Okay, so you're far better off pulling yourself up in those cases. Okay, so right now Kirsten isn't sitting on the heels, so I'm able to pull her or get up. So I can choose whichever one I want right now. Okay, and you see how I base up on my elbow, I get up on my hand, and I throw my hooks in. Okay, the only time you're never gonna be able to do this is if someone is leaning into you. Okay, so let's say Kirsten here, usually her counter is using this arm, grabbing my collar, and either stepping up on her leg over here and just avoiding you getting up onto your elbow. It's very common. It's like the most common counter we have for this arm drag. So in those cases, instead of trying to pull up, we would transition into a sweep, or we pull her instead. Okay, I think I do a pull in the other video. Let me just check. So in this video, I drag the arm, right, and I pull her instead. No, there. See that little end bit? It would look like this, so you wouldn't even have to. I got up on my elbow, but you really didn't have to. If she was leaning onto me, you could just pull the person and they'll just spin, and you get the back really easily. Now, if she was sitting on the heels or crouching like this, then you're better off coming up, right? So it'll be a lot easier. I hope that answered the questions. Which one? I've only ever seen Chris be successful with the arch and collapse. It's because of the timing. You need to practice the timing. The 1 step and the 2 step. What's the question, Emma? Which arm do you armbar in the final position for the 2-on-1 video? So that's Monday's class. The 2-on-1, you armbar the arm you have the 2-on-1 controller. If that makes sense. Okay, gotcha. Right, we're gonna move on soon. So any other questions about arm drags and armbar, fire away before we move on. We could also show them in the cart or something. If no questions, good. Alright.
No, that only came now.
What only came now?
When you said any questions,
Oh,
just came now.
it's delayed.
Yeah.
The stream is a bit delayed, so I think you guys are hearing things. Wait a minute, like late or something, because my Wi-Fi is bad.
Oh, they didn't ask anything.
You do a normal armbar, my friend. So if you got 2-on-1 control or elbow control, it's always that same arm that you attack. Reverse armbar, I'm assuming he's talking about the arm crush, which is this move, telephone armbar. I think he's talking about that, but it could be so. That's why I just answered.
I'm not paying attention.
You're not paying attention.
I can hear
Terrible
two,
student Kirsten
I can
is.
hear 2 of your voices because I'm listening to the stream. I'm a secure now.
It was a slide. I'm trying to figure out what Radolf is saying. The arch and collapse. So we're attacking this arm. If you underhook this, then yeah, you can attack the telephone armbar. But this is a big transition. We normally wouldn't attempt that. Okay, time to move on. That's it for arm bars and the lesson plans. Okay, so this should give you a nice insight on what to do from close guard okay, having the plan. So when we come back, try your arm bars from the first lesson, and if they don't work, try to go for your arm drags. Avoid the stand-up techniques. Avoid the elbow dig into your thigh, because that hurts. Don't let people open your guard, and master the arm drag, because it's really good. I've been caught in it many times. I've done it many times. Very underused move, right? Now, fight breakdown time. So this is the section where we look at some of our students' fights and we break it down by every second, and we tell them what they did wrong, what they did right, what they should be drilling, if they made me proud, if they disappointed me.
Oh no.
And today we're looking at Flavia. I think this is a no-gi match, submission only. What is this quality? Why is it so bad? But anyway, I hope you guys can see it, but the quality is a bit bad. I think it's a WhatsApp video. But let's take a look at this now. So I believe in this fight, there's only one game plan. You need to submit the person. So lots of little wrestling techniques here. Little collar tie fight. Now, let's stop here. This is what I believe Flavia wanted to do, okay? She's been, well, from what I saw, she wants to pull into one leg X. It's a normal, like, guard pull technique in no-gi. She just wants access to this foot, okay? So, we recorded over here, I think, what her plan was. So she wants to sit down and go into one leg X, okay? Just show that again so everyone understands. She wants to control the hand and the collar tie. She sits in, grabs the leg, and goes to one leg X, okay? Unfortunately, she didn't get control of that foot. So the lady was able to just bring her legs out basically, and she avoided that little sequence. What's happening? Hold on, guys. Something is going bad. Little intervention. Have a chat amongst yourself in the chat box.
More technical difficulties.
Yes. The video is not playing the whole thing for some reason. Backness, Kirsty and entertain them, please.
I'm not good at that, sorry. Who has Animal Crossing?
No one has Animal
All I care
Crossing.
about.
Okay, so it's this bit that we need to add.
What's the chat saying? At home with high five. Hi. Oh, it's Daniel.
We're almost there.
People are making Tiger King memes with the Animal Crossing characters. It's just, people are so creative in the game. Honestly, I love it so much.
She's been playing
10 out of
non-stop.
10 game, especially in this quarantine time. How can I practice arm bars with a chair? You don't.
What? I think chairs are like for passing drills. You use a chair for like passing drills, brain bolos and that kind of stuff. Use like, I don't know, use your mind for arm bars.
Use your mind.
Set your grips up. I don't think you can. If you find out a way, I'll be impressed. All right, getting back to it. I think we're good now. Skip this bit here. All right. So that was the entry she was looking for. Okay, this bit here. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way. She didn't get this. That was best case scenario. Okay, just letting them know. Boom, and this is where it carries on. Now this is a very tangly position where she gets caught in. It's a brilliant position for her to set up leg locks and submissions, okay? It's called waiter X, and I'm going to show you what she should have done from here in this clip. Yeah? So, I'm Flavia, this is the other lady. Flavia's got her leg in the middle here and one leg in the back. And my advice to her here would have been to go to waiter X to set up this move here, to go for foot locks, or to set up her heel hook game, okay, which is, I think, was her plan anyway. So whenever you're stuck in what looks like a little leg weave position, all she has to do is wedge her knee behind her opponent's knee, and she would have been in a really nice little spot to start attacking. Okay, right now the girl's pressuring her and etc. But that was my little advice for her there. Fast forward a little bit, little nice guard recovery here, same little slicer, and now this here is the lady's attempt at a leg weave pass, which is a very common pass that we do in Jiu-Jitsu. She wants to do this move here. Okay, now my advice to Flavia here would be, this is a really nice, she's giving you a very nice saddle entry right now, okay, where if she tracked and took that bottom leg out, she could have gotten right into a 411, which she could do any form of 411 moves that she knows from there. This really complicates stuff, but if you know about heel hook stuff, this should make sense to you. And it's a very common entry. We kind of force the leg weave in no-gi just for this saddle entry sometimes. So the girl going for it was actually helping her. Okay, so here we see it. She wedges that knee through. This is where Flavia should have span a little bit upside down, like here, and enter the saddle. So moving on, she almost kind of like gets it here, but it just goes a little bit worse. A little technical difficulty again. I think I know what's the problem now. Okay. This shouldn't be here at all. Can we help? Read the comments for me, so I know what's going on. Any questions?
No, there's not.
I don't know why there's guillotines here. Hold on. Here we go. Alright. We're back. Hold on. I'm getting, in a week I'll be pro this, don't worry. Carrying on from here. We get resetted there. Flavia with the butt scoots. Stands up. And I believe she's trying the same entry now. To the... Now this is quite unfortunate. I think this bit's coming up. Little bit of more collar tie fighting. And I believe the lady does a beautiful throw on Flavia right now. Sorry Flavia, but this is a really nice technique from the lady. Okay, so we're gonna look at her now. She's got a collar tie around Flavia's neck there, and she's controlling her hand. Okay, Flavia is aggressively charging forward. Okay, which sets up a beautiful throw moment for the girl. Flavia has no base towards this direction, so if when this leg comes across, it's pretty much a really nice hip throw. Boom, there's the trip. No base on this side, so she gets thrown. But it's not the end of the world, because Flavia has an underhook. Okay, so it negates this throw completely. Because Flavia's got a chance to get up at any moment she wants. So, which is what happened. It was a beautiful throw, but Flavia ends up on top. So all of that hard work meant nothing. She gets a really nice underhook, follows up, which is the correct thing to do. Tries a quick little skip bypass, which is really nice, but unfortunately the girl tracks her, so she doesn't end up with a pass, but that was a really nice sequence. So if you watch that from slow-mo, from normal speed, Flavia's charging in, the girl trips. Flavia stays with her underhook, which is perfect here. She didn't give up on that underhook. If she let go of this underhook, she wouldn't been able to get up, and they get stuck in close guard. Now Flavia does the correct thing, little elbow up, knee in for the guard break. Very surprised that she didn't manage to break the guard. She does here. The girl stays strong over there. This is a really nice pass sequence here. I think if she stayed a little bit tighter, she could have finished the pass. She gives up on the pressure and the girl's able to recover. But she does a good job defending the guard attacks. Sits down for a heel hook. Very nice. Lady's pressuring her, and now I believe Flavia has been drilling this loads, so she's gonna switch to the X in hopes of a saddle entry. So you see her little foot wiggling about over there. Gets a little X. The girl does a little back step, so everything is kind of upside down and a little bit off to the side. So I think Flavia gets a little bit confused on where to go from here, because the girl's reaction is a bit different than what she expected. What Flavia wanted to do here is elevate and then shoot this leg through to a saddle entry. Everything becomes a little bit dodgy here when the girl does this back step and Flavia follows up. And she ends up chasing the back instead, which is really nice as well. We get into a nice little scramble here. Nice little crab guard. And there's lots of tips that I could give from the crab ride scenario here, but you'll make no sense when I speak about it. But here we want to keep the person stacked as much as we can, okay, if that makes sense. If your partner gets their back on the floor, then that means you have a harder time going for the back. So staying with those hooks really sticky and try to stack them. Doesn't work out. The girl starts attacking Flavia's leg. No danger whatsoever here. Little nice entry here into one leg X. Tries to dig for the heel. Not enough control on the kneecap here, so her knee's almost cleared already. So that's why it slips really easily. But nice attempt non-wise. Now this should have been the end of the match. This is where I tell Flavia off. Oh my god, Flavia. What did you do here? Flavia gets the perfect... Now if you don't know, if you haven't rode with Flavia, she has like the boniest little forearms ever. Her guillotines hurt more than like regular people's guillotines. She gets her little bony arms under, and that's a perfect elbow deep headlock here. Should have been the end of the fight here. Finished, okay, but Flavia, and this is due to adrenaline and I don't know, man, she's like, she just wants to kill the girl or something. So here's what she should have done. Anytime you get a high elbow guillotine, this is me being nice to Christine, but you jump on her neck and throw that leg over. I threw it slowly, but I would have done it before. And that should have been the end of the match. But Flavia aggressively tries to finish the girl from standing and jumps onto the girl, which allows her to just like flop backwards and fall. And there she loses the guillotine because they fall on the back. But yeah, if you got someone's neck in this scenario, just throw that leg over the top, and that should have been the fight over there, because that's like such a high elbow guillotine there. There's no way she could have stopped the finish. But nonetheless, they get resetted in the middle. The girl was saved there by the corner. And a little bit more wrestling going on. Hand fighting. Now if you get thrown by a judo girl like that once, I would pull guard faster if I was you. But Flavia's no pussy like me. So she keeps standing battle. Did a little head fight here. Boom, little nice sweep there, that was perfect. So I believe she's going for that same entry again where she goes boom with the inside control. The girl gets launched over because Flavia's controlling. I think she's got double wrist control here, doesn't she? Sorry, let's go back here. It's a nice little sequence here from Flavia. Yes, she gets 2-on-1 at some point, I think. This is a collar tie. There's the 2-on-1. This is beautiful. Textbook stuff here, watch this. She has double collar tie. Flavia switches from controlling the head to controlling the wrist. This is like highlight technique here. No. 2-on-1 control on that wrist now. The girl is fixated on the head grip. Pulls straight into a butterfly sweep and gets on top. That was beautiful. Straight into a knee cut and gets the pass. Go turtles to avoid the pass. Very bad move, special in submission only. Probably from all the IBJJF comps, you kind of like get used to it to not give up the points. She turtles, and here we have another chance of either neck attacks, back takes. Flavia chooses to persist on the neck attacks, I believe, because we're looking at here. The girl gets a 2-on-1 wrist control, which is the standard counter. Now here's a really nice sequence. Flavia gets the head and arm control. Okay, it's a very odd angle to get any submission going on except for the DOS, which I don't think she's setting up. She's setting up some form of guillotine. If it was a DOS, she would have been shooting this elbow deep and staying on her knees. So I'm pretty sure she's looking for this sort of head and arm choke. Okay, so I believe here Flavia should have flipped to north-south. Okay, because their angle right now is not right, and you can see she loses the head here really easily when she steps over. So I think we did film a little slice here. So intermission again, let me just see what's going on. Pretty sure there's a slice that I didn't put. Yeah, the slice is gone. Okay, never mind that. You guys are gonna have to imagine it.
Moving along.
Yeah. So I think Flavia knows what I mean here. At least Flavia would get this. Flavia, flip. Okay, you need to flip here to north-south. Boom. And then reset your submissions from north-south, either going into DOS, guillotines, and etc. Okay, moving on, we have more material here. She gets into 3/4 mount. This is Flavia all over the girl now. Her arm gets caught here. I don't know what the lady's looking at. She's just trying to trap her wrist. Flavia finally gets her arm out, and now we're into another time where I'm gonna tell Flavia off. She gets a nice gift wrap here. Now, if you're experienced grappler, we know that gift wraps are basically free back takes. which is what Flavia's setting up here. You can see her wedging that knee up so she can chair sit back take. Very common here. This is the bit where I tell her off. She has no connection with the girl, chest or head. So when she pulls her, she ends up pulling the girl way too much than she should. So let's just see how she pulls her first. This is the pull. So she pulls her, the girl uses the momentum, rolls up on top, and they end up in almost like close guard. Flavia tries to go for transitions to an armbar, which is not bad, okay? But this is potentially a losing scenario for back. The girl ripped her arm out, she could have gone to close guard. She doesn't. So let's see what she should have done. Whenever we're chair sitting, we make sure that our head and our body stays crunched over our partners, and we're really squeezing in, staying tight, so that when we finally get the back, okay, there's no way the person's gonna wiggle out. So you see there's no connection here, she's not crunched over, so she just pulls the girl onto her. So that's a good job following up here. Now this is the highlight of the fight. Watch this submission chain from Flavia. I got nothing bad to say here except for the last part. Gets both hooks in, the girl wedges her off, she's in close guard, straight into attacking. The arms are crossed, so she's still working on the back. Girl pulls her arm out. Now we're gonna see some close guard action here. Little wrist control. Head and arm choke, that's the first submission attempt. Can't get that off, she climbs up to high guard. You can see she's trying to like figure out whether she wants to go to the back or not. The girl leans onto her so she can't take the back. Climbs to close guard again. Girl keeps stacking her. Here's the telephone armbar attempt or reverse armbar. Beautifully set up. The girl pulls out. It's a little bit slippery in the match now. Straight into the armbar chain. Watch this. She goes, armbar's not working. Sorry, arm crush. Bites the neck. Armbar set up. Little arch and collapse here without her even knowing. So that's the arch and collapse. She pulls her in. The girl drops down to her knee. Slippery action there. Little Danaher head control armbar setup. Finally gets the armbar, and then this is the bad part here. So up until then, that was really exciting. That was beautiful. She gets the armbar and she gets stacked. Q&A time. Alright, let's see if people will answer this correctly. What should Flavia have done here? This was Monday's class. She's getting stacked from an armbar attempt. We'll give it some time. Whoever gets it right gets what we're gonna give them. I don't know, a virtual stripe. Any answers?
You're like so far behind.
Oh.
You're here in the live stream.
Jesus.
For like 5 minutes behind.
We're really behind. I don't know why.
Oh, they're answering.
Oh, yes. Spin under. Very nice. Flavia does not spin under here, unfortunately. She does spin, right? But let me just edit this out so it's a bit better.
Maybe my stream is just slow. Because if they're answering, I'm not there.
She does spin, right? But, well, she doesn't really spin, but she spins in the wrong direction. So, we're here. But very nice. Everybody got the right answer. Here's the armbar setup. Here's the angle. Girl stacks. Should be spinning underneath at this point. She does, well, the girl falls over. So she doesn't spin, but the girl falls over. But now, that's potentially a spin under, right? But what's wrong with this position? Let's see if anyone can figure out. For the spin under, there's a little bit of trouble here. So if we go let's put this into context right now. If we go into this bit and we look at the spin under, boom, here we go. And it's a common thing that happens, okay? For the spin under, we want our head facing the legs, okay? Now in Flavia's case, she's looking the other way, okay? So her body is actually facing that direction. That's the main problem she had there. When the girl was falling on top of her, she should have changed her body positioning, which is hard, to the other side, okay? Now this is already too late, okay? She's basically, unless the arm is really deep, she's basically out at this point, right? But at this stage here, when she felt the girl falling over, if she just changed her body angle to facing the legs instead of facing that direction, I reckon she would have had a ooh, the internet fall. There's a freeze there for some reason. Oh, it's just my camera. Sorry. Never mind. I thought my internet just dropped. Yeah. So basically, if she was facing the feet just before, so this is too late, like I said. But as she's falling here, she could have changed that to face the other direction. I reckon that would have been another little close tap attempt. But nonetheless, the girl's able to kind of wedge her arm out. Flavia fishes for the leg, gets on top, sets up another submission, another pass. So you can see Flavia is just all over her at this point. And unfortunately the time ends, but it was all Flavia from there. Unfortunately on the format, if you don't get the sub, it's a tie. But really nice little transitions and sequences from Flavia there. In my opinion, the highlight was the close guard sequence there. That was just full on attack. We see like 3 submissions there. We see the arm bar, we see the arm crush, the head and arm, and then finally the spin under. So it was a bit, but really nice fight, okay? Very entertaining, yes. But yeah, the tips that I give for Flavia on this one is definitely the spin under. Earlier on, the leg weave, okay? Practice, try to, basically this is probably like a muscle memory thing. Get used to the, when people go for leg weave on you in Ogi, to spin underneath them to go for the saddle. Other than that, only the guillotine here. Trying to be not so savage, a bit more technical on it. Trying to rip the girl's neck off. But yeah, but it was very entertaining, and you can see Flavia pushing the pace on all of these. But yeah, that's the end of this slice. Save. I'll send this to you after Flavia. And now, let's get Flavia in here. Let's see what went through her head while she was fighting. How do we unmute Flavia? So Flavia, join our chat if you can.
Where is she?
She's here. I think she's muted herself though. Yeah. Can we hear her? Flavia, can I hear you? Can't hear anyone. And that's the technical part of the stream, guys. Hope you enjoyed. That's the lesson stuff. I usually hang around and we look at memes and we look at videos on YouTube and we just jam from them. I ask silly questions. People answer.
Press that one.
Huh?
On the other side.
Where?
Is it Zoom?
On Zoom.
Do you not do that? Or is that done?
Flavia is muted. I don't know how to start video. Oh, join audio. Here we go.